What is up, guys? Hope everybody is having a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about a service and something that I think that could benefit a lot of people for the rest of 2023 and 2024, and that is starting a podcast. Now, a lot of clients that I have are going to be starting podcasts relatively quickly and really just getting their content out there in the form of long-term interviews and spoken words as far as just letting their expertise be known. And there's a couple of reasons why I think if you're a small business, if you're a big business, starting a podcast is a great method for you to do. So for starters, when we think about podcasts, I think a lot of times people think that the podcast is something that they have to have fully planned out. They have to have it perfect from the beginning. And the great thing I tell people about a podcast is if you start right away, the great thing about it is it allows you to then show your progress on how you've gotten better from the start. For example, Joe Rogan's first episode may not have been the best, but we've been able to see him progress over and over and over again because he's done it for years. So as far as authenticity goes, I think that a podcast is great for something like that. The next thing a podcast is great for is becoming a staple in your industry. Now, I call this the podcast neighborhood method, or as Gary Vee likes to call it, the cool kid party method. And so basically, sometimes people don't realize it, but if you are the place that people come to communicate and consume information, it automatically makes you look more valuable, right? If we look at the Joe Rogan podcast, the reason why Joe Rogan's podcast does so well isn't necessarily because of the content that he has on it, but it's because of who he's interviewing. He's got to interview people like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and people who are constantly on social media and the internet and the news for what they're doing in their life. And so if I were a business, let's say I was in the business, I was a law firm or I was a medical office, what I would do is I would start a podcast and I would interview people in the area so that I became the hub of information, because from there, what that allows to happen is if somebody needs legal services, medical services, if it's a real estate agent interviewing people in the community, you now become the go-to resource for whatever it is you're selling, whether it be both a product or a service. So I think when it comes to podcasts, it allows people to really establish themselves as a staple in the industry. And then last but not least, the benefits of a podcast are just content creation. So a lot of times people have to sit down and they have to plan out content. But the great thing about doing a podcast is the fact that if from start to finish, you get, let's say, 30 minutes worth of long form video content. Well, now you can take that 30 minutes of long form video content and you can put 2 to 5 minute clips on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. And then you can break them down now from 30 to 60-second shorts for TikTok, for YouTube shorts, for Facebook Reels, for Instagram Reels. And then from there, what a lot of people don't realize is you've now 10x to 20x your video content, all while only spending 30 minutes of actually talking in front of the camera. And so another thing you can do with podcast content is you can take that content and you can transcribe it using a app like Rev or a company like that, and then you can use it to create blog content. You can use it to create written word content on LinkedIn, written content on X, and you can even use that written content to create graphics on Instagram and other social media platforms. So I say all of that to say that when it comes to doing a podcast is a great way for you to 10x your content very quickly. And the great thing about it is it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. Like when it comes to people doing a 2-minute commercial, 3-minute commercial, 1-minute commercial, TV commercial, right? You go through this phase of it taking a lot of time and people having to edit it to make it look perfect. Whereas a podcast is just a real authentic, raw interview of you speaking to somebody or you speaking just on your expertise. And it's a lot easier to take that large piece of content and create it into a lot of micro pieces of content, which then promotes the full episode. So for example, if you have all these shorts on social media, all of the shorts will then promote the full episode on YouTube. And then that allows people to just pay attention even more. And then, of course, if you do a long form video podcast, it's very easy to extract the audio and then put it on to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you want to put it on whatever podcast platform that you want to get on. And so that's why I think podcasts are so important, right? Podcasts are great because they allow you to 10x and 20x your content very fast. and they allow you to get your name out there, and they allow you to become a staple in your industry. And so I say all that to say that we are super excited that not only are we rolling this out for our clients in 2023, but we are looking to roll this out as a service for people who are interested in starting a podcast. So as always, if you're interested, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at FRHeart2, and feel free to send me a message. That way we can help you make your message known. Have a great day, and God bless.